morning for everybody, and sorry for this technical problem. And let's go to the deep in the topic. We had three very important questions. Take into account the three global forces, because we wanted to understand the higher education and the future of the higher education, the digitalization, and how it will working in the future. It is not just a new phase of digital transformation. It is in a kind of fundamental shift in how knowledge is created, delivered, and governed. And the choice we make now as educators, leaders, and researchers will determine whether technology becomes a force that amplifies human potential, or one that kind of quietly replaces it. It's an ethical question and so many other questions. Three global forces explain why this topic is urgent. First, scale, the demand of flexible, high-quality learning. It is growing faster than institutions can supply. Secondly, the equity is very important. Digital divides persist across regions, programs, and students' population. Without intentional design, technology amplifies inequalities instead of reducing them. And finally, but not last but not least, the third point is the AI acceleration. AI technologies evolve faster than governance structure can keep up. This produced risk, definitely a high risk in assessment, academic integrity, and also institutional trust. My research shows that these drivers make higher education 4.0 and unavoidable, but also incredibly challenging. The question is not whether we transform, but how we do it. If you examine the higher education 4.0, it is now essential for tracking global challenges in access, equity, and accelerating AI. How can institutions act unless they first strengthen human-guided governance to navigate complexity and ensure fair opportunities for every learner? That's the main question. And also, we have to ask researching the future of universities prompts on essential question as education 4.0 becomes vital for addressing scalable changes in access, equity, and accelerating AI. How will institutions act unless they reinforce human-guided governments to manage complexity and secure equitable learning for all? And our methodology, let me introduce how I made this research. Use the multi-method design, interviews capturing lived experience, synthesis of 180 empirical studies, design-based experiments within our university method, and my brand ecosystem, because we have this kind of innovative ecosystem, and the upcoming questionnaire data. Together, these methods reveal how HE 4.0 effectiveness emerges not from technologies themselves, but from the human-guided institutional conditions that activate them. I don't want to go very deep inside all the research details and the results. Just I want to show you what was the learnings from our researches, because it would be very long to make very deeply inside the results. So let me briefly explain the operationalized points of the research methodology. Here you can see in the table, and some little interesting points from that. For example, the adaptive learning is the first row, and we have this very useful model. Adaptive learning is the most constantly effective digital technology in our entire synthesis across this kind of systematic reviews and quasi-experiments. Adaptive systems produce about 20% improvement in students. Of course, there are high differences in between 15 to 13% in students' performance, and measurable gains in motivation, but only when institutional moderators support them. It's a very important point. The other examined row is the AI instructional agents, which you can see here, how we did it. Our research shows that AI instructional agents consistently improve learning outcomes when they are embedded into course design organically. And also, we made a kind of randomized control trials demonstrate gains in post-test scores, increased learner control, and reached interaction when AI agents provide real-time guidance and feedback. However, this benefit appear only under meso-level conditions, aligned assessment, carefully structured activates, and stable digital infrastructure can be very helpful. Without these design elements, the effect of AI institutional agents becomes weak or almost disappeared. The other point, what we examined, other 3 points to take it together. The next generation LMS, the mobile towards learning and cloud-based systems. And it's very interesting to see clearly the effects of this. I also don't want to go very deep inside that. We also examined what about the massive open online courses and how is it working. We got feedbacks and this kind of automated feedback sustained progress at scale. It's also exciting to see clearly what is in large scale course feedback in the key driver of success. These are really useful, but at the end I will show you what kind of recommendations and suggestions we came up to make it more effective. we also examined the open educational resources and open sciences. How is it working? So it was also exciting and very important to see that this kind of methodology expands access and allows adoption to the students' needs, and it's a kind of very useful supporting equity. However, adoption is slowed sometimes by infrastructure gaps, unclear licensing, and limited incentives. We had also technical problems, so it's a good example. Open science enhances transparency and collaborations, but again requires institutional support. So openness is very powerful, but all even ecosystems and policies have it, and it's a kind of sustainable solution can be. So ecosystems are interesting. We made a new model using the ecosystem and see clearly how is it working. What you see here is the core logic of higher education 4.0. The ecosystem reminds us that digital transformation is never just about tools. It is about how people, pedagogy, infrastructure, and governance interact in a living system. At the center of this learning capability, we want to develop digital fluency, critical thinking, creativity, collaboration. This is why we developed this kind of my brand methodology at our university, and also ethical judgment. These are not optional skills anymore. They are the foundation of future-ready graduates. We really believe in this. So this is the final model of our complex ecosystem, the full complexity of the modern AG 4.0. What it makes very clear is that digital transformation is not a technology project. It is a system level redesign that touches governance, data, pedagogy, partnership, and the experience at the learning learners at faculties. This is a kind of learning organization system with feedbacks and using the platforms very effectively. Okay, here is the detailed table. This is a kind of heart of my research. It shows that AI challenges in higher education are not isolated problems. They form a system. Each challenge has a clear meaning, a measurable risk and also evidence-based mitigation strategy. Together, these roles, we can summarize the core message of my work. The future, the digital future, the AI only creates value when institutional build literacy, governance, ethics, and human-centered pedagogy around it. Without these conditions, AI amplifies risk instead of positive effects. Okay, here we can find our key findings about adaptive learning consistency, which shows 4 major areas of impact. First, the performance across multiple studies, learners, and our learners show steady improvement when the system adjusts content to their level. This is one of the most reliable findings in the field. Second, motivation. Students tend to feel more engaged because the learning path feels relevant and achievable. They are neither bored nor overwhelmed. That is very important. Third, the infrastructure adaptive learning only works when the digital environment is stable, fast, and reliable, of course. If the system crashed or loads slowly, the benefits disappear. And finally, but not last but not least, in structure capability, teachers remain central. This is really important. Adaptive tools don't replace educators. They amplify what teachers can do, but this requires training, confidence, and pedagogical integration is the most important point. We have 6 main recommendations. I'm not going very deep inside because I think it's nicely understandable. Our research shows that success technology is embedded into a coordinated, human-guided institutional model by allowing that the action of leadership, instruction, students, administrative units, and external partners. Universities can turn digital tools into real learning gains, equity improvements, and sustainable institutional capability. Here is our recommendations with stakeholders integrated by our advices. And my final thoughts, technology amplified judgment is important. Aligned digital ecosystem is important. Human leadership in AI is important, and also co-created future of education. These 4 are more important, and I have to emphasize the need of human-centered approach is in digital learning is always will be the most important point in the higher education. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr.